All right, we are live. I am the first one here. I'm waiting for Fred to show up. I just sent him the link, so he should be joining us shortly. There's Fred right there. What's up,
Hey,
dude?
what's
What's
up,
going
man?
on, man? We're fucking
What?
live, dude.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Check.
hear you.
Okay. Well, I'm doing this on my iPad, so.
Oh, no worries, dude. No worries. Thing of
Uh,
convenience. Um,
yeah.
I sent out the link to everybody online too, so
Cool.
people may or may not join us.
Yeah.
All right, so those two gaming guys, it's me and Fred. We are here to talk some E3.
We are.
Um, I guess I've kind of wrote the show out, kind of
Cool.
wing it, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's start with the first one. What are you expecting from the show, dude?
Uh, well, I mean, you got not a whole lot because I mean most of what we already know is going to be there. We got Battlefront, the Star Wars Battlefront's coming out.
Hmm.
I mean, you got some surprises with Fallout 4 that just got announced like 3 or 4 days ago.
Right.
And then you're hearing possibilities of everyone saying, "Oh, the next Dark Souls is going to be coming out in supposedly." There's rumors of this year, but who knows? Possible playable version there. I know I was reading some stuff about they've got the possible new Metroid coming. Possible,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I saw a trailer for Rise of the Tomb Raider the other day, so that going on, and all kinds of craziness. So I mean, you're looking at stuff like that, and there's my wife putting on the live on the internet. This is awesome.
Do you want to try this?
What,
You have to try it. I'm
okay,
not giving
so
you an option.
apparently I'm being asked to try something right now.
Something new.
Something new, yes. That's coming out of a box that
Good
I've.
luck.
Yeah, I know. Getting a spoon or something.
Live reaction.
Banana cream pie.
Yes. Hmm?
Yeah, if I wasn't all over the internet right now, I'd probably be the same reaction.
Yeah.
But
It's
What are you doing?
when it
No.
comes to pie, it's chocolate cream or lemon meringue for me.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Anyway, so
We
yeah,
are
no, I
very
mean,
different on this
I mean
subject.
that's what I'm expecting right now. I mean, honestly, the biggest surprise would be a Fantasy Star 2 announcement. Anytime.
Yeah, yeah, but I think you and I are the only people in the United States that give two shits about that game.
I know.
Or even I'm probably the only person left that even remembers the original quadrilogy or the tetralogy.
Yeah. Not too many people. Yeah, I know. I know. All I remember is you telling me about the road past. And
Right? Yeah. No, dude. Well, I spent the better part of 6 months trying to figure just that part of the game out. So I was like maxed out. I had my party at well, it was just me and Meow
uh,
and or Alice and Meow, and then I had them up to like level 20, and the game maxes out at like level 32. So like, yeah, I spent a lot of time on that. But are you expecting anything like? Are you realistically expecting any surprises like a Final Fantasy VII remake announcement or anything like that?
no, I mean if they, yeah, I know. If they are, they did a very good job of not having it leak anywhere. Because
Yeah,
most something like that is going to end up somewhere. There's been nothing on the mill. No. There's been no like Oh yeah, we heard this, we heard that. I mean, the biggest leak that we just had was the one for Destiny, where they leaked out everything on the Taken King or something weird like that.
right.
The
And that's
next,
that's another hangout for another time because
yes,
you
yeah,
and I
yeah.
will go head to head on that one.
True. Well.
Suffice to
Anyway, yeah.
say,
So,
you'll be going solo on Destiny without me after September.
no. I got ESO downloaded today, so that if
Oh,
if
did
it
you?
if it wasn't having massive launch problems like most games do, where you can't even log in on the first day, yeah.
Right.
Um, but I don't really see any major surprises. E3 has been very planned out. Everybody already knows what you're gonna see.
Yeah, it's not like it was.
Yeah, it's not like it was where everything was hush hush, and then like everybody would get super excited because that one game they wanted to see was there. They
Right.
put hype into things now where they want to hype it over the next,
Right.
8 and before it
And
comes in.
and we also have that problem with because for me E3 was, I mean, I still enjoy it to a large degree, but for me it was always about that, it was like Christmas morning if you and I were uh, you know 15 and 19, you know what I mean? It would be, oh my God, I got this game, or
Right.
hey, did you hear about this? Now it's oh yeah, they announced, they have all these big game announcements pre E3, and then you
Right.
have all the major publishers having their own press conferences now. So it's not like if there were a Final Fantasy VII remake announcement, it's not like we'd see it at Sony's conference on Monday morning. It would
Right.
be at Squeenix's conference, like before or after Sony's, and then it would be like, oh, coming to PS4. You know what I mean? In like 2030. You
Right.
know?
Oh God, I hope not.
No, I don't. I don't think we're ever going to see that game. But
That you'll see something probably from Final Fantasy 15, but I don't know what's going on with
Sure.
that. They
Yeah.
got the second episode of their beta or their test or whatever it is coming out, and
Right.
I don't get what they're doing with that. I mean, I appreciate the fact that they're testing the crap out of this.
Right.
Let's see what they're going with it. I mean, are they just going to episode it out and then you're going to play most of the game before you even buy it, or what on there? I really don't.
Well, I've been following that almost out of like a morbid curiosity, kind of the way you slow down when you see a car wreck or a train wreck.
Right, sure.
Um, and you and I will agree to this always, but now more than ever. I mean, Final Fantasy isn't really Final Fantasy anymore.
No,
And
it's not.
After 10, I played the demo with you for 14, and I enjoy MMOs to a large degree, but like as far as the core series goes, I thought it went to shit after 10. 10
Yeah.
was the last 10 was the last real Final Fantasy game. After that, they took all of the DNA out of the series and tried to westernize it, I guess, or reinvent it. And it's just it. And most people hate it, but Square Enix keeps shoving these
Right.
mediocre games down our throat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what everybody
So-
does now. Nobody's made a.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at the PlayStation 4, and that's another topic for another time too. That's the very definition of underwhelming and mediocrity in hardware and software. So, I mean, for what, it's almost 2 years old, and they don't have a single killer first party app. You know what I mean, or an exclusive third party that makes you. I mean, we're the hardcore of the hardcore, so we buy our consoles and play whatever. But it's not like back in the day where you had, oh my God, I got to buy a Super NES, or I've got to get a Genesis because of Sonic, or because they got an exclusive, Mortal Kombat 2, you know what I mean? Or anything like that.
Bought the 360. The whole reason I bought the Xbox 360 was for one game, ESU. The reason we bought a Dreamcast was for one game.
Right. But nowadays you don't get that one game, whether you're looking at the Wii U, whether you're looking at the PS4, and even back on the PS3 and the Xbox One. I mean, they had me at Killer Instinct the day. Remember, I texted you that voicemail, and after I saw how they were going to roll it out in episodes, and they broke it up into various DLC packages, and there was no story mode. You know. And I'm a huge Halo and a Gears of War guy. I love that shit, but I'm not going to buy a console for those games. No, I'll buy a console for Phantasy Star, whether it's online or traditional. I'll buy a console for Zelda, for Metroid, for Final Fantasy, and so far this generation we haven't had any of those, and then some. So, and we're heading in. The Wii U's almost 3. It'll be 3 in November, and the other 2 will be 2 years old. So. We're heading into the middle, the quote unquote middle, the middle life cycle, or the mid portion of their life cycles. But I don't know. I'm not expecting a whole lot in terms of surprises from E3. I read IGN and like 4 or 5 other news sources every day, especially now that we're doing this. There's some stuff I try to avoid spoilers. Like despite their I even hate to bring the company's name up. Despite their garbage, you already know what I'm going to say. I'm like a huge Nintendo fan. I know you are too. But like old school Nintendo, like pre Wii Nintendo, I should say.
64. You know what I mean? The Cube.
And what's funny is I wasn't a big fan of the Cube. I hated the 64 because it was cartridge and not CD based, and we were, the PlayStation had already rolled out. So you and
Right.
you and I were at your parents' house, tearing that up like every day. But like the Super Nintendo was Nintendo's last good console, but like there's been something to enjoy or look forward to on every console up until the Wii. And for me, I justified buying the Wii because I knew I was going to get 2 Zelda games, one at the beginning of its life cycle and one at the end. And they were good games, but again, and not to digress too much, when you look at the attach rates, they had like 100 and something million Wii's sold, excuse me, and they only sold like a couple of million copies of each of those Zelda games.
Right.
I mean, that, you know what I mean? I'm a business owner. That's a major fail in my eyes. You know what I mean? So, hang on, let me get a drink. I'm dying. Okay. So to stay on track,
Yes.
so we're not really expecting. Neither one of us is really expecting too much from the show.
No.
I kind of think it'll be kind of my prediction, especially with the big 3 press conferences. It'll be kind of the status quo that we've seen since like 2010. Nothing too shocking, nothing alarming.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like now, even with Nintendo, going back to them, if they could keep a Metroid's reveal a secret, that's huge. That moves. It doesn't move a ton of Wii U's, but it's going to get a lot of people excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
And same thing with Sony. Now that there's really no third-party exclusives. They're all timed exclusives. You and I can go, Xbox One is getting the Final Fantasy VII remake. Well, I'll wait 6 months and it'll be on PS4. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
exactly.
The big gripe there is like, oh fuck, I gotta wait until next May instead of December.
Right.
So big deal. I'm not paying $500 or another $400 for even a Final Fantasy game.
Sure.
But yeah. So okay. Outside of that, now what are you hoping to see? Like for you, what's gonna like? Even though there's no huge surprise, what do you want to see at the show? That get you going.
I want to see. I mean, I'm interested in the Star Wars Battlefront. I want to make sure though that they're going with the iron sights or something. And I know it's a big thing for a lot of people. They're doing the third person over the shoulder thing, like Gears of War. I had a hard time. Yeah, I know you love that.
Yes.
I have a hard time with that for some reason. I really do. My aim is all off when I have something like that. And the only other thing I really want to see is I want to see Fallout 4.
Okay.
What just announced, because I had a lot of fun playing the third one. I played it like at least 3 times through. I mean, I know you're not big into shooters, but it's like if you took Destiny and just put a really and I would say just give it a bunch of story content, you'd have like Fallout 3 is kind of
Okay. So I haven't played Fallout 3.
No, I mean it's on PS3. And it's you basically, where they say, hey, you can walk to that mountain, you can walk to that mountain.
Yeah, that's the praise I've always heard about it. It's when they say open world, it's really open world.
Really, it's really open world. You can go. I mean, you can go anywhere inside the boundaries of their map.
Okay.
I mean? So it still has a boundary as far as the map goes. Every game does, but you can go anywhere. You can literally do anything. Like if you want to shoot and kill an NPC, you can shoot and kill an NPC.
Okay.
It's going to affect your game down the road if that NPC did a quest.
Right.
But you could do it if you really wanted to. So that's always been something that's been kind of like, oh wow, I could really, just go out, I could kill anything, do anything. I played Fallout 3, and like everyone else, I blew up Megaton with the nuclear bomb.
So is it like not to digress again, but it's basically GTA in a sci-fi setting?
Kind of, it's post-apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic, right?
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot about Fallout 4. I watched the trailer, and I can give you my thoughts on that later when we're not doing this. But I've never played Fallout 3, and I've wanted to because everyone's like, "Oh, this huge world! It's so fun to explore." And I spent hundreds of hours in there, and I'm always down for that kind of experience. But I went back. My brother gave me Fallout 1 and 2. He gave me copies of his game when you could still burn the discs.
Mhm.
I installed it here on my new laptop, and I know Fallout 3 and 4 aren't to that top down kind of mouse click type of thing, but I love the premise of Fallout from what I've played of it so far, but it's fucking boring, dude. It's just like I'm wandering around this other vault, then I'm outside getting attacked by scorpions and rats, and it's
Mhm.
just like, and I have a feeling that it's one of those games where I
Mhm.
don't quite get it. It hasn't, and not that it hasn't drawn me in.
Mhm.
It hasn't hit like a song or a band hits me, where it's
Right.
like, oh, I love it instantly or I hate it instantly. It's
Right. Okay.
sometimes you have those where you go, I don't quite get this band or this song, and then you get to a part of the song or you hear
Mhm.
the rest of the album and you go, oh my god, now I understand it. You know what
Right.
I mean? And I have a feeling it's kind of like that for me.
Mhm.
So like I wanted to play Fallout 1 and 2 since I have those on disc before
Right.
I went and got Fallout 3 because I'd really like to play Fallout 3, but do I need to play 1 and 2 before I do 3?
No, I didn't.
No. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
No, they're separate. I mean, you don't even have to play Fallout 3 to play Fallout 4.
Okay, okay,
It's like 100 years further down the timeline or something like
okay.
that. Because they
Oh,
can
okay, okay.
the world hasn't fixed itself, or it's getting closer and closer to fixing itself. Honestly, it looked a little bit like some of the stuff I saw, and you might agree on this. It looked a little like Rapture.
Yeah, yeah.
I could feel, I saw some of the stuff. I was like, oh wow, that reminds me of, BioShock. You know what I mean, and whatnot. So it definitely felt a little like that. But that's kind of what I'm looking forward to, as far as that goes. Just Fallout 4, and then Battlefield or Star Wars Battlefront, the new one. Other than that, really, that's kind of it. Nothing else has really struck a chord as far as, oh yeah, there's Mario Makers coming out.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I know.
That's fun
I-
when you're 38 and 42.
Let's make your own. I mean, seriously, that no one thought of that before. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that should have been around on the Super Nintendo or the N64 in my opinion.
that should have just been around with every Mario. They should
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I agree. Yeah, well, it took Little Big Planet to force Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo used to be so on the cutting edge. Everybody followed their lead. Now Nintendo is following everybody else's lead.
Oh, absolutely.
In this really tacit way. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're original with Mario Maker. No, you're not. You're just missing Sackboy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, it may fool the 10-year-olds and the 12-year-olds, but I mean, like I said, at our age, I mean, we've kind of been there, done that. Several times. Yeah. As far as what I'm expecting, I'm glad you brought up Star Wars Battlefront because, like you said even earlier at the beginning of the broadcast, I'm not a huge shooter guy. I do enjoy some shooters. I love the BioShocks. I love the Metroid Prime series. I love Halo. And Gears. I prefer Gears of War, like a third-person shooter, but so I'll probably, but yeah, and I've never played Call of Duty, never played any of that shit, just because it's so generic. And I look at the cash grab every year, and that's something. What I'm expecting to see is 500 rehashes of the same game they've released for the entire millennium thus far. That's what I'm expecting to see. I should have said that 20 minutes ago. But yeah, like I'm very curious. I saw the trailer IGN put up for Star Wars Battlefront, and although I'm kind of turned off to the Star Wars franchise, the new trailer for the trailers for the new movie kind of have me really interested. Not kind of, they have me really interested, or cautiously hopeful or optimistic. And the trailer for the game, it was just like, oh, dude, kind of what we're doing in Destiny in third-person form in an indoor setting or a Star Wars setting. That's great. And you and I, it gives us a chance to play together. So
Absolutely.
I'll definitely have to. I may be picking that up, and I'll be looking forward to it next week at E3.
Yeah, definitely looking to see what that's going to be like.
Yeah, it definitely piqued my interest. As far as what I want to see, I hate to. I'm a realist.
Yeah,
so
I know.
What I want to see and what I think I'm going to see are two entirely different things.
Right.
What I want to see is a new Dragon Quest, a new Zelda, a new I want Phantasy Star 5.
Oh no, you have a Dragon Quest coming out, right?
Yeah, it's a kind of a mishmash of or a mishmash, sorry, of
The different ones or something like that.
yeah, it's a bunch of different characters from a bunch of different Dragon Quest, especially Dragon Quest VIII. You know, the last great one.
Right.
On the PS2, what's that game that Nintendo? Oh, Dynasty Wars. I'm sorry, I had a old man moment there. You know how they did Hyrule Warriors. You know, it was.
Oh
it
yeah.
was
Yeah.
Dynasty Warriors with a Zelda skin.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's kind of what the Dragon Quest game is. I was actually a little interested in it because it looked like it didn't just incorporate the the Dynasty Warriors gameplay. It looked like it took things a little bit further, and they really put some Dragon Quest elements into it. But honestly, as far as to stay on track with the conversation, I don't think that'll be a big part of E3 because that's RPGs in any form, especially online now, are so niche. You know what I mean? They go to guys like us, and to be honest, I would probably play Dragon Quest and I play Destiny because they don't make those games would be better in my opinion if they were single player experiences or co-op online experiences like a la Resident Evil 5 or 6 where we could I could invite you in or even like Dark Souls where you could bring someone in to help you out. You know, and it's more I like that intimate gameplay more than I do the everybody joins, you know what I mean? So and I'm okay with that, but I don't think Dragon Quest it'll be there, but I don't think it's going to be part of the conferences. We're not going to be doing this after E3 and next week or the week after going, "Oh man, dude, like the Dragon Quest online reveal or the Dragon Quest 10, you know, we're going to be talking about the 500 shooters we saw and
Right. Halo 5.
And how you were interested in half of them and I was interested in none of them. So, but as far as what I want to see, I should have thought that I should have prepared better for this question. When I wrote it down, I knew I was going to struggle with it when we got to it. It's like I said, there's that part of me that says, what do I expect to see? What do I want to see? And the question is, what do I want to see? But how do I remain intellectually honest or relevant and answer the question? What do I want to see? I want to see Zelda. I don't think we will because I think it's been delayed, and I don't think it's going to come out on the Wii U. I think it'll be on Nintendo's next console in 2017. And that's another topic for another time. I want to see Star Fox. I think that's coming out this year or so they say. But even if it gets delayed to 2016, which is not unreasonable to think that it might, I think we'll definitely see it in playable form.
Yeah, but they need something. They need something strong for this Christmas season, or they're going to be tanked.
Yeah, no. Well, they've already admitted that the Wii U has failed and done. So, and I mean, they announced they haven't given any details, but they announced that the codename Nintendo NX. They are, and the Wii U is not even 3 years old, and they already they put that out there. So. That's that's a tacit admission that they had a huge epic fail. So, but I want to see Star Fox. I would love to see Zelda, even if it's just a. Oh, hey, what's up, dude? There's Chris. Hey, man, how's it going? We're just talking video games, dude, in E3.
What's up, gentlemen?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Not too shabby.
Awesome.
Looking forward to Fallout 4.
Yeah.
That's what Fred was saying. I've never played any of the Fallouts. My brother Corey gave me the discs. I was telling Fred a few minutes ago.
The core?
For Fallout 1 and 2. He gave them to me back in 2000 and was like, "You got to play these, bro." And he's like, RPG, and I just actually after the Fallout 4 reveal, I popped them in my laptop and I started playing, and I know they were different than 3 and 4, but they were so fucking boring to me. I played like 2 or 3 hours of Fallout 1 and I was just like,
Yeah, I did Part 3 and New Vegas. It kicks it up to a new notch.
That's what I heard. Is it so it's like Fred was telling me, it's like kind of like shooter style or like Infamous with a shooter type gameplay?
No, I mean I wouldn't even really call it a shooter because it's more of a
RPG.
Like an adventure game. I mean, you can really. I mean, the world is so open. You can almost choose to play. You could create a character that just runs away from anything and not kill anything, and just run around talking to people, or you can go and create a character and just mow everything down. And I mean, it's really, right, Fred? I mean, you can
Yeah.
really.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you could do that. I mean, you could do it that way. You could do a all stealth character and come up behind everything and just
Yep.
thing.
Because you can design, you can allocate your points to your character. You can allocate your points and kind of make your character as strengths. I always kind of made my character just like kind of even across the board, but I gave him a little bit more charisma. So when I was talking to sometimes I gave him a lot of like charisma, so you could talk your way out of situations,
Right.
whereas otherwise you'd have to like fight. So. It's just it's a cool game. The environment's cool. You know, a lot of cool characters, a lot of cool like really unexpected stuff. Like I'll never forget. I was just wandering around the wasteland and I come across this like building, this like skyscraper in the middle of nowhere, and it's kind of like it's almost like Night of the Living Dead. It's like there's these rich people. It's like Land of the Dead. It's like these rich people are living in this place and they won't let me in. I went around. I don't know if you're even supposed to do this, but I went around and there were some zombies in the basement. And I forget what I did, but I let them into the building, and then I went back around and walked into the building after they wouldn't let me in, and the zombies were tearing the people up inside, and they were all screaming and stuff. And
Wow.
did you do that, Fred? That part was awesome.
No, I didn't do it that way. I actually, I didn't get in my first playthrough. My second playthrough, though, you can blow up Megaton and get in there.
Oh.
Yeah, where you set the bomb.
I let the zombies in, man, and they tore it up. Then I had the zombie mask that like tricks them, and I just walked around and watched them tear up all the people inside. It was crazy. So there's so many ways
you guys have got me all pumped for this game that I don't have money for.
Well, no, I have a copy of it. I can mail it out to you or something. Dude.
Sure, dude.
I got mine for like $5.
Oh, okay.
Dude, you can buy a cheap one like super. You can buy a used one super cheap like Fallout 3, even New Vegas. New Vegas is fun too.
It came out what, like 6 or 7 years ago?
Yeah.
Wow. So I could probably pick up a used copy. That shouldn't be a problem.
So that's all I have to report.
Awesome. Well, let me ask you.
I'm stuck on Dragon Age.
Oh, are you playing Inquisition?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. How is that?
It's good. I tried to make my character look like me, and he kind of does from the side, from the front. But when he turns to the side, he looks like a weird. And the kids are like, "What's wrong with him?" I don't know. I messed up the facial like.
He's deformed.
Yeah, he looks really weird. But he's bald and he has a goatee, so I'm like, he kind of looks like me, but definitely not as handsome.
What was I going to ask you? I was going to say I played Dragon Age 1, and Fred, you might remember when I got it. That was back in like 2009 or 2010.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it like pretty quick. And then I got to the end, and out of the last boss, and since I couldn't grind in the game. Like I felt underpowered, and I didn't really understand the battle system, like because it really didn't teach you during the game as you went through the story how to be how to use different characters effectively. I just stuck with my main character, and like I got to the last boss, and my party kept getting wiped out, and I just quit like after a month of trying. Like I just couldn't beat it.
Yeah, I had a hard time.
Yeah.
You know, when I say I'm stuck in Dragon Age, I mean that I'm friend zoned by all the female characters. So no matter what I do, I can't seal the deal.
Oh my God! Yeah,
I try to make one happy, the other one gets mad. You know, and I can't win.
Yeah, I saw some of those like romance videos. Like IGN posted those when the game came out, or like before it did it in old E3, and it was like you can have intimate relationships with like these half the anthropomorphic like creatures and stuff. You know.
Yeah, there's this real crazy elf girl that you can pick up, and she's real wacky and like crazy, and I was like, man, this is like some of the girls I dated in the past. Like, I should be able to seal the deal with this one, but she hates me. I can't do anything right for anybody, and
Does it like? Does that like? Is that like a hindrance to like moving the game along,
hard.
or is it like just a fun plot thing, like a side thing?
those are just side, yeah, like the side relationships. It's
Oh,
not like
okay.
part of the main plot.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I thought about picking Inquisition up, but like after the first Dragon Age, I just thought, man, like I was so burned by not being able to, in every other game I play, and like even the games we played back in the day, Chris, like if a boss is giving you like harassing you, you could go back and grind it out for a few levels and come back and then beat his ass. Like I couldn't do that, and I was just like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So, and then like Jen and Lex bought me Dragon Age 2, and because like I was so pissed off at the first game, I never even took it out of its plastic wrap. I just sold it.
Wow.
I'm in a part right now where I won't spoil the story for all the thousands of people watching at home, but
It says viewers, by the way, at the bottom.
I'm at a part where like I'm in the castle and there's like an army like fighting, and I'm trying to fight my way like against these invaders, and they're kicking my ass, but I can't leave to like level up my guy. It warns you ahead before you kind of activate the sequence, like this is for levels like 9 to 12, and I was like level 10, and I'm like, yeah, I got this. But like I'm way into the battle, and I'm like just eating crap, and I can't leave to like level up and do it again. And
You're stuck.
Yeah, kind of.
That was something. Going back real quick to the first Fallout, I was playing. I started a few days ago. I got really far, and I was saving my game like often, and I thought when you die, like it would take you back to like a checkpoint. I ran into some scorpions, and like I saved right as I encountered them, right before the battle started, and like they killed me, and I loaded my game, and I was back in the middle of the battle again.
Yeah.
It was like 4 hours into the game. I was like, oh fuck, man, and like, I was so pissed, and I thought, fuck this.
Get me out of there!
Dude, it was like Dragon Age all over again for me. It was like, God, I'm stuck, dude. There's nothing I can do. It was like you in the Batman game back in your parents' house, Chris, back in the day.
Oh, God.
You kept dying back in high school. You were like, this fucking game is killing me. Or like, I didn't know what to do. So like, I haven't gone back to it. But well, I'm kind of like, I'm really interested in like Fallout 3 and 4. Like I told a couple other people like in forums that I was talking to, and on Facebook, they were like, you got to play it. Like when you get out of the vault in Fallout 3, they're like, the game opens up and you like get sucked into this world.
Yeah.
They're like, it pulls you in, and they're like, one chick was like, I spent like 500 hours just exploring, and I was like, oh my God,
In part 3, man, and I never do this. In part 3, I walked every inch of that map and just explored, and I never do that. And I was
that kind of scares me, because you're not. I mean, you were back in the day when we were younger, but you don't game like Fred and I do now. Like I'm afraid to pick up that game after you say that, because like if you spent that kind of time, like I'm gonna be looking for secrets in like every blade of grass. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like, what is this?
Fred, Fred, did you find that the alien ship? There's like an alien ship that like crash lands, and you like.
You guys are killing me, dude.
It's awesome. You can get his laser gun.
Yep.
What?
Then there's a DLC where the aliens. I got the DLC where the aliens abduct you, and then you're up in the alien ship, and you go inside, and there's like a cowboy and like Abraham Lincoln, and like there's other people from history, and like you like unfreeze them, and then like you lead them like to the ship's controls and like to try to get back to Earth.
Oh my God!
I don't remember that part.
Dude, there's a DLC where you get abducted. I don't think it's Abraham Lincoln. There's like a Civil War soldier, and like. There's just like different people from like they were like frozen, and you can unfreeze them. And the aliens they're the Greys that you like, Scott. They're trying to probe you like in the rear.
Trying to probe.
No peace, right, Fred?
Yeah, no peace.
Let me ask you, do you watch E3 at all, Chris? Because I know you're not like a gamer like you used to be.
I do. I would like back when I had more time.
Right.
I remember I watched it. I would watch some of the coverage back on G4, which doesn't exist
Right.
anymore. So I would watch the coverage. Now I probably just look for the updates on Twitter, and I'll like look at the articles and stuff.
Or wait
I
for
know-
one of my angry rants on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
I predict Nintendo's not going to be pleasing to you no matter what they do this year, but I agree.
Well, I'm glad you came on because like Fred hasn't owned a Nintendo system. Did you had a Wii, right, Fred, or did Diane buy it? Was it Diane?
I have no. I have a Wii. I didn't buy it. It was bought for. No, maybe we did buy it. No,
But you bought it like as a novelty item more than these killer apps on it, right?
Because it was something that she could play like some of the stuff, and then it had Mario Kart. It wasn't really because I was like, oh yeah, I want to play this.
Right.
Because it had the sports, it had the motion controller with the bowling and whatnot. So
right. Well, the reason I asked is because when Chris and I were working together at a place called ECX at the turn of the millennium,
Yes.
I was still like a little bit younger, so I was still kind of stupid like that. My love for Nintendo was just like Chris said, they could shit in a bag and put it in a bow and you would buy it, and I go, no, I'm not like that, but I totally was.
But I was
You know what I
I
mean?
was way into PS2. Like I was like the PS2 was just like the I still feel like it was the golden age a little bit.
Well, yeah. Well, I think that there was two golden ages. One was when all three of us were growing up, like when we were teenagers, like junior high and high school days, and then the PS2 generation with the original Xbox, because that was an awesome console too.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then that was Nintendo 64, and then Chris used to call it the Lame Cube. He was like, "What consoles do you have?" Because we
I
hadn't talked
skipped
in a while.
over that one.
Yeah, and we met up after like 9 years of not talking, and
right.
I was like, "Oh, I have the Dreamcast, I have this, and I have the GameCube." And Chris was like, "You mean the Lame Cube and the Dream Last?" And like I was all offended. I was like, "Why doesn't he understand this?" It's like, but yeah, that's why I brought up I was glad Chris joined and brought up Nintendo, because like it's a little bit of different perspective with him, because I know you still enjoy games, Chris, but it's not like it is for Fred and I still, where it's still like really like an overwhelming passion. But like
we have an Xbox. I mean, we have two 360s. We have a Wii. We got it, and then we have an Xbox One. And I do like to play, and we play sometimes as a family. But it's hard to find the time.
Right. You play more of just pick up and play entertainment.
Yeah, I do. Right.
Right.
The last game I was super into before I moved up to Oregon was Batman Arkham.
Arkham City or Arkham Knight?
Yeah, and I could not. He has this weird. He's like down in the tunnels or whatever, and then Ra's al Ghul gives him some trippy old thing, and he has some kind of acid trip where you got to fly through his dreamscape, and I could not beat that part. I could not beat it. You're supposed to glide from point to point, and I'm like, this is a dream. Why am I even needing to do this? But
stupid plot.
I could not beat it. And you know what happens when I can't get past the part?
Right.
Well, I almost said all three. The third one isn't out. I have the first two Batman games downloaded on my PS3 because they were part of PS Plus, is the free games you get when you pay, as a member.
Right.
I have, and I kind of feel ashamed because I'm a hardcore gamer, but I haven't touched them, and partially because I just haven't had the time.
Mm-mm.
But
It was cool, but when I Googled how do I get past this part, which normally I don't like to do. I like to figure it out myself. I don't go for that. But I was at a point where it was making it unbearable. So I Googled it, and these punk kids were like, it's really not. I read their thing. It's really not that hard. You hold down the left trigger, and then and I tried to do what it said, and man, I was like, "F you, kid, 13-year-old punk ass."
Oh my God, dude!
Me, I was playing Skate or Die before you were a twinkle in your parents' eye.
Ooh, buddy! You just got called out, dude. Oh man, that was bad, dude. Ooh, these boys don't understand what a PlayStation is.
There when I did, you didn't have a left trigger.
We had 8-bit pixels, and we loved it, pal. Yeah, that's funny, dude. It's fun. Another time, I'll have to talk to you, Chris. I had a similar experience last night when I don't know if you heard the song I posted online on Facebook, the first one I'd done in like a
No,
year.
I saw that you did. I didn't have a chance to listen to it.
It was just a real quick, like I did everything, all like 6 tracks in one take. But anyways,
After the running of the scales.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. That's mandatory, like every day now for a year. But like, I asked some dude, like I think he's 24 or 25, and he's an awesome musician. He's a guitar and a bass player, and like he can shred and stuff. And I said, hey, dude, like I'm getting good at my scales, but I don't know which scale to use over this riff. Can you help me out? Like just name a scale or two for me to use so I can play an okay solo over my song. And he comes back with like this really pretentious, like you already know what I'm talking about. You want to use the Mixolydian scale, but then you want to add naturals by going up a semitone and like, and then when he found out I was tuned to E flat, he's like, he says, well, what key is the riff? And I told him it's in E, but since I'm tuned a half step down, he's like, I ended up having to record it for him, and he hears it, and he's like, "You're calling an E flat an E chord, and when I said I'm playing on the 3rd fret, it's a G. If I'm playing an open chord, it's an E. No, it's an E flat. Now that's a G flat." I'm like, dude, he was, and I was like, motherfucker, I've been playing 30 years before your dad like ever knew your mom. You know what I mean? And I was like, technically he's more sound than I am, but I was like, a similar situation. I was like, give me a fucking break, dude. I felt like Bob the other night. I was just like, shit. And then I was like, I don't ever want to ask anybody for help anymore. It's just like, you're a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? So like,
they're not lollipop salesmen.
Exactly. It's just like, I'm not trying to play like King's X or like prog here. I'm just trying to play some like straight up rock. You know what I mean? I was like,
yes.
Get me out of here. So yeah, I sympathize with that, dude. But let me see. I had a bunch of questions. Now, Chris, since you're not like a huge gamer, like you don't play like Fred and I do. Are there any games like you want to see like from E3 or like you want to hear like get announced? Or do you like not give two shits?
No, I will say the one I was hoping to get announced that my son Parker and I talked about all the time was Fallout 4, and I actually thought it wasn't going to happen. So I saw the announcement. I was super pumped about that one.
Oh, okay.
So that was probably the main one that I saw you guys were talking about E3. So I thought I'd jump in and.
No, that's awesome. I was actually hoping you would because I know you like games, but you don't play like you used to. So like I was hoping to get like a different opinion because most of the time Fred and I, it's just like what I mean. We're just stroking each other. It's like yeah, great, So unless we're debating like the validity of shooters or online games, then like
I had a lot of fun with the Crackdown games, and I guess they're coming out with a new Crackdown game.
Uh huh.
Mm-hmm.
You ever play the Crackdown?
No, I've heard of them, but I've never touched them.
Dude, those are that's like mass carnage. Like those were a lot of fun.
Is it like GTA on steroids or?
Almost, but you're not your character. Like you don't drive around, like you run around and throw cars, and there's just like a lot of stuff happening, like, and it's kind of open world kind of thing. It's cool, like. You get killed and you just like come back to life.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That game sounds cool. I'd love to see something more in the world of Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
I like westerns. It's funny because sometimes I love a good western. Sometimes, like a movie,
for sure.
or a game, and I like a good western. And so I'd love to see something else in the Red Dead Redemption game. I'm looking forward to Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight, yeah. That's got me kind of interested. Did you guys, speaking of Red Dead Redemption, I think you turned me on to that game, Chris, because I love GTA. And I remember you said pick out, we both like Western stuff. So I picked that up, and it was funny because when you mentioned it now, it just made me think of Bob because that opening scene where the guy's riding in the train and the two women in front of him, the religious women, are like, "Oh, those savages!" And it was, ooh, you know what I mean? I was like, "Oh, it's one of these types of stories." But
right.
yeah, I've heard like rumblings of Red Dead 2, but I don't know if that's gonna that would be a surprise. And like, I don't know if you watched before you joined, but like Fred and I, there's really E3 is not like what it was like up to 2010. There was like Christmas for guys like me or Fred. It was like, holy shit, I know nothing about this game, and oh my god, I got to get my hands on this. I can't wait. Now it's like, oh, I heard about that 6 months ago. Now you're just now E3 is just, hey, here's the game you heard about half a year ago in playable form, or here's a video and it'll be out in 3 years. You know what I mean? Or we'll talk about it next E3. So,
Yep.
so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would love to see Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. For me, I was right as you were joining. We were going over what we wanted to see. I want to see, and you might criticize me for this, Chris, but I want to see like Zelda, Star Fox from Nintendo. From Sony, I'm expecting, and I'd like to see a God of War 4 announcement, and hopefully it's like a return to form, because that last God of War game was kind of crappy. Ascension, I think it was the prequel.
Yeah.
It was really easy, and it was kind of dumbed down, and it was like a half-assed effort. I heard there was another Ratchet and Clank game coming, and if that's a return to form, that could be good for me.
Yeah, I love the Ratchet and Clank games.
Yeah, well, the thing is for me is Sony announced last E3 that they were making a Ratchet and Clank animated movie. And
Yep.
everybody was just kind of like, I remember watching E3 last year, and I heard everybody just kind of like a collective groan. You know what I mean? It was just like, it's like, instead of making the movie, make a 20, 30-hour game. You know what I mean? I mean,
That's
it's
not gonna happen.
it's 2014 or 15. What's the point? You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Outside of that, I don't have an Xbox One, and I don't see myself getting one for at least for a long time. But I have a feeling that Gears of War is going to show up, and probably more Halo 5 for sure. I have no doubt about that. Outside of that, I'm not sure. Like, I think there'll be a lot of indie titles.
Yeah.
Fred, you follow the news more than Chris does. So, but Chris, I don't know how much you know about gaming now is like 90% indie
Yeah.
and like 10% AAA, like first party, like gotta have it titles. So, like,
More like triple B.
right, and that's kind of changed. Sorry, guys. That's kind of changed the dynamic of E3 too. Is like there's so many like small indie titles, and a lot of them are good, but it's like they don't get the year-round attention like that the God of Wars get, or the Zeldas get, or the Gears of War get. So it's like they show up at E3 and they get this tiny little block in the big press conferences, in Sony's or Nintendo's or Microsoft conference, and then they show up big in like the actual developers conference, which like somebody like me will watch, because I usually take the day off for E3. But like Fred, I know Fred, you don't watch it, and Chris, you're not gonna watch. You got other shit to do.
Yeah, I gotta work.
Right. So it's just like, it kind of, I don't know, it kind of detracts from the experience for me. But yeah, I think E3 this year will be a lot of indie titles, and that's the other thing, a lot of not remakes, but remasters. They'll have, like the Mega Man collection is the first, all the NES games are being remastered. I don't know why they're not remaking them like they did with Bionic Commando, and put Mega Man in like HD and make them like 32 or 64-bit games.
Well,
What do you think of like what they did with DuckTales?
Oh, dude, I have that on. You were here. You may not remember, but
No, I
dude,
do. I have it too.
yeah, I love that game. I still pick it up every when I don't have anything else to play, or I'm kind of bored, because there's always more to do in it. I love that game. I love what they did with DuckTales. I love what they did with Bionic Commando Rearmed, like way back in, what was that, 09 or 2010, I think. Because it was almost the exact same game you remember on the NES, but it had like all these updated graphics and enhanced like mechanics, like
Right.
And now it's the quick buck with all even the indie and the big developers. It's like, okay, everybody loves Final Fantasy IX. We won't make an HD remake of that. We'll just do an HD remaster. So it's still the same blocky characters just without the fuzz of 480p. You
Right,
get
right, right.
720 or 1080 instead of 480, and
How dare they?
yeah, it's. I mean, it's a smart business decision. I mean, I can't argue that. I mean, I'm a business guy too now, so like, the easy money is remaster it. It's simple code. It's a simple coding process as opposed to remaking this game and reassembling the original team and
Right.
basically building it again from the ground up. So I get that, but from a consumer or for a gamer standpoint, for me, it's like it's like, oh God, I want that. I want to see like DuckTales. I always wanted to see what DuckTales would look like at 128-bit running on or a quad processor. You know what I mean? As opposed to the NES's 3 megahertz processor. So you know what I mean?
My wife has a question.
Scott,
What's up?
If you could see a game from like when we were all kids redone, and you could pick any one, what would it be?
Oh my God, Sarah, that's like that. That's exactly. That's a snafu for me. It's like when we were discussing putting together the perfect rock band and trying to choose from like all these legendary players.
I'm getting the last for my
it's
right now.
It's an awesome question for this like hangout of this video cast, but like where would I even start? I mean, there's I'm a huge.
Why would I tell you what mine is?
The
My
what?
brother and I had a game on the NES called Twin Eagles.
Twin Eagles.
Oh my
That's
God,
weird.
I remember that. I do remember that.
It is one of my favorite games I've ever played. You're just both helicopters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And someone
Yeah.
split the screen by yourself.
I remember that. I would love. That would be a fun one to have again.
There's
Actually, that
nothing
one.
like it these days.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that one makes sense to remake or even remaster because like all the cheap arcade shooters that are for sale on the stores and stuff like online. The only problem is if it was an NES game, then Nintendo probably still has exclusive rights to it, and Nintendo's so stubborn and they're worse than my grandfather when it comes to being like thick. Doesn't matter how bad they do in business or how big their ideas fail, they just keep doing the same thing over and over. So, and from what I've seen in their virtual store, you can get of course you can get the Metroids, you can get your Castlevania, you can get Blaster Master, you can get DuckTales, but you can't like Twin Eagles. And what was that game, Chris? You might remember it came out around the same time as Twin Eagles, where you have those two dudes with wings. They're not angels.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like bird's eye view, and they shoot, and you're
Yeah.
the power ups, and then it goes to side scroller. Like when you go underground and they pull the big mouth sucks you in. When Sarah said Twin Eagles,
cool.
the other game popped into my. I have
My
the game.
favorite part was when the big mouth sucked me in.
Yeah, that I bet it was. God, I'm trying. I can't think of that's gonna haunt me like all night now. I can't think of the name of that game.
We have to Google it.
Yeah, I have the game on my arcade emulator upstairs on my desktop, but I haven't played it in years.
I think Bayou Billy would be a good one to.
That's another one. Oh my God! Did you ever play that, Fred?
Yeah, I did.
Did you ever beat it?
No.
That was hard.
Because I didn't.
It was hard.
I didn't own it. I didn't own it.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah, you're a little bit younger than Chris and I, so you weren't there at the very beginning. You were a Super Nintendo kid, huh?
No, it wasn't even that. It's just I just didn't own any.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Just didn't buy me one.
What was it? Oh my God, total brain fart. I'm having like a senior moment again. Like a pre-Alzheimer's thing here happening.
You can go Baloba, man.
I knew you with names.
Yeah, exactly. No, as far as to kind of try to stay on track, as far as like what I'd want to see like remastered or even remade, Twin Eagles would be awesome. Akari Warriors, I would love to see.
Oh,
like,
dude.
Not a remaster. I want to see a full-on HD remake, like, and that game's legendary for being both fun and difficult, like almost impossible to beat. And what was it, the ABBA, like to continue, and the code never worked? Like you had to be like.
You know what else I loved? We had a game called Maniac Mansion.
Oh, man, I love Maniac Mansion.
That's a great game. There's again nothing quite like it, and you always
Yes.
needed two people in the basement because one person had to push the brick to get the best.
See, I would love to see like a new take on like a spin on Maniac Mansion where like you can play with other players online and you have to work together to solve those puzzles rather than like by yourself.
I love
Same
puzzle
thing.
games.
Right. But what about Shadowgate? Like they just remade that. It's for the PC. Remember that, Chris, on the NES?
Yeah.
I played Shadowgate.
Yeah, Shadowgate was amazing, dude.
Clash
What
at
else?
Demon Head just for the
Oh.
music.
Oh my!
Terrible
Yeah.
collision detection, and it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
so Japanese, and the translation was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like
yeah,
the characters were like super anime before that was like really big.
yeah,
But like
yeah.
the music is so good. Yeah,
What was
you
it?
remember that?
Yes. Hang on a second. Let me look at something. What I'd also like to see is because I'm a huge Phantasy Star fan. Like I'd love to see those remade.
Oh, you love the Fantasy Star games.
Yeah. And I love the online ones too. But like the original 4, like the original quadrilogy or whatever. Oh my God. I'd love to see the early Zelda games like remastered, like the top-down games, 1, 2, and 3. Metroids, obviously. You know, kind of all the remakes that I want to see are the really old, like 25, 30-year-old games. But yeah, I don't know. What about you guys?
I would like to see the original Bionic Commando like redone, just so I would like to see like Hitler's like head explode at the end.
Dude,
That was
dude,
an amazing.
you can pick it up on Xbox Live, dude. It's Bionic Commando Rearmed.
What is
Yeah,
it? The
it's
same
part-
game?
Yeah, it's the NES game completely, and it's faithful to the NES game. You're not going to be like, what is this? But
Get
with
out!
like, no, I'm not.
I thought
shitting
you were
dude.
talking about that new one that they made, like
No,
that
no,
was
no, no,
different.
No, no. Oh no, that 3D like with the guy with his bionic arm going out, that with the horrible controls. and
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, dude, it's like it was amazing. Did you play it, Fred?
Hello?
Hello?
I don't know, it crashed.
Happened?
My iPad crashed.
Oh.
Like all of a
Is
sudden
that-
it just went.
is that
clunk?
code for I wasn't paying attention because I'm on the toilet?
No, that's code for I'm gonna probably have to leave soon anyways because
Oh, okay.
it's later here than it is there. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Well,
I'm an hour.
Okay, well, let me get to the. Let me see here. Hang on a second, guys. My thing's going
Yep.
weird.
Oh wait, hold on. My computer's about to lose power. I only have like 3% left.
Okay, hang on. Let me do this quick. No, that's wrong. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to figure this. This is my first time. Well, not my first time doing it, but here we go. Hang on. This is for Chris.
I saw it.
There you go, dude. Fred, did you ever play that game?
No.
No.
Dude, that
I
game was
didn't.
good, Fred.
That game is legendary, dude. I would urge you to play it on an emulator or something.
Hmm.
But real quick,
Yeah.
hopefully, what was I? Now, do either of you guys care about like the portable market, like PlayStation Vita or Game Boys or DS or? Hey,
The
Sawyer.
kids all have DSs, but I
Uh-huh.
don't.
Like,
really.
are they looking forward to anything?
Who knows?
Who
I
knows?
try to ignore them.
Who? Your choice. Who
I'm,
cares?
I'm surprised there's only 2 kids performing you right now.
The what?
You want? Well, I was
I
gonna
say
say
you got so many kids at your house. I'm surprised there's only 2 popping up right now.
No. Well, most of them are asleep, but yeah.
I thought a kid was gonna come out of that box behind you.
Oh my god. Ooh, buddy. Let me see. I had one more question for that for the podcast thing.
Are
Like,
there
real
any
quick-
questions for me on from the viewers before I go?
I don't think we have any viewers. If you need to go, dude, go. No big deal, dude. I was just
I'm
the last
out of
question.
geek.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Mhm.
I was just gonna ask.
go ahead.
Who do you think's gonna like do well, and who do you think's gonna completely just like suck? Like out of the big 3, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo.
Microsoft's gonna suck. Or no, because Nintendo's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I think that Sony's probably going to come out ahead just because they're probably going to announce a huge amount of indie titles.
Even though they
and you're
don't
gonna
have
have-
any first party exclusives for the rest of the year.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Microsoft's going to be like, well, we've got Halo.
Yeah, and
And
Gears
that's-
of War.
Yeah, but there's been no trailer or real announcement of that. There's just been
Right.
rumors and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
So and really quick, you guys asked about which HD remake I'd want to see. I
Uh-huh.
either want to see BioFreaks
Oh my
from
god.
PS2 or this guy. This is an old arcade game that I played a couple times. It's called Time Killers, and as you can see, it was pretty.
I remember that was like overshadowed
Yeah.
in the arcade and at home because Killer
Yes.
Instinct 1 had just come out.
Yep. Mhm.
Yes.
So that
Awesome.
those would be mine.
Those are
I'd love
cool.
to see a remake of either one of those because those are just ones where you could, you'd lose an arm and you'd keep going.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
I
remember
remember
that. That's right. You know what I'd
So-
like to see real quick is I would love to see Sega announce that they're remaking or developing a new Eternal Champions.
Oh,
I don't know if you
tease
ever
like
played
that.
those, Chris.
Don't tease.
Like
Why-
I'm
why you
saying,
gotta tease
I
like
think
that?
I think Fred and
What-
I were the only people I know even to this day that ever had a Sega CD. Like everyone else was like, to hell with that. And I know you would have been that way, Chris. But it was 20, yeah, back in 95, 96. But like
Mhm.
Eternal Champions, the one on the Sega CD was amazing. To me,
Mhm.
that's for my money, that's the best fighting game ever made.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I'll just leave by saying I'm going into the studio to record my album on July 11th,
Awesome.
and
There you go.
the title track is based on one of the best games ever made, ever.
Which one?
Name of The Oregon Trail.
Oh my god, dude, I haven't played that since 4th grade. When they sent me
Oregon
when they
Trail.
sent me to the I got to play that because they sent me to the special kids math class.
Spoiler alert: we're all gonna die of dysentery.
No, I got in trouble because I ran over the sheep.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, dude. Well, thanks for joining us, man. Hopefully you'll
Yeah,
do it again.
absolutely.
That's
See
awesome.
you all at E3 in your
All right,
dude.
dreams.
See you, man.
All right, dude. Okay, Fred. Well, we'll wrap it up.
All right.
We
So it was,
digressed. We digressed quite a bit there, but
yeah, we did.
that happens. We actually covered all of the topics I wanted to cover.
Awesome.
And it was a good conversation, even though it kind of went off on a lot of different things.
That's all right. Huh.
Oh my God, you guys are live. Yeah, I guess I'll just wrap it up here. We'll come back after E3, and I may
Absolutely.
broadcast live when I'm watching, especially on
Mhm.
Nintendo's conference because I love to be angry at them, and they give me
Sure.
every reason to be angry at them. That's coming up next week, and after that,
Mhm.
you and I will talk about it, and then we'll come online and talk about it.
Yes.
So
Yeah, well, I'll be trying to stream some Elder Scrolls here as soon as they decide to get their servers working.
okay, well, make sure you set up your streaming info
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
PS4 for our those two gaming guys. If you
Yeah,
need the info, I'll
absolutely.
send it to you.
Yeah,
Just let me
no,
know.
I got
This,
it.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Just set it up, and then
My-
you can even set your Facebook up for your two gaming guys there, and it'll post the links there when you start. If
Okay.
you want, unless you want to do your own, your own thing, you can do that too.
No. Yeah.
So,
We'll get
Sorry,
on that.
back up. So, okay, dude. Well, I'll let you go because these kids are going nuts.
All right, man.
So I'll see you online soon.
Yep. See ya
See ya.
later.
Late.